Yeah, we all the Indigenous youth and part of the people on our trip, we did a dance. I don't know if that might have been earlier, but and then everybody was allowed to join in a round dance, and it was really nice because almost everybody danced.
And why did you guys bring the Black Snake to Washington D.C. and perform this action? Who is it for?
It was for President Biden.
And his Army Corps of Engineers. And what's the message that you want to? What was the message you were bringing to President Biden? What do you want him to know? How do you want him to help you and your people right now?
We want him to shut down DAPL, stop Line 3, and build back fossil free. He claims to be a climate president, but we have not seen that aspect of him yet. And so that's where we are waiting on for him to do, to stand with us and to build back better.
And how many were there? A lot of people there today. I heard there was. I heard because of COVID, you were expecting maybe a couple hundred, but a lot more showed up, right? Thousands.
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of people there. I mean, a lot for a COVID crowd, I guess.
Yeah. And so, what do you want to accomplish going forward? And how do you want to how do you want to see this all turn out ultimately? What do you want from Build Back Fossil Free?
I think in the end, what we want is just assurance that not only our current generations, but our future generations are going to have, clean water, and they're going to have land that they can use, and that they're going to have life, honestly, and a planet that they can continue to live on for generations even after them.
And why was it the youth, do you think? Why are the youth so involved right now? And why was it the youth who showed up? And why was it the youth who ran?
Um, because the youth are the future and they're the ones that are going to have to live through this. It's almost they're fighting before the events are taking place, kind of like just trying to secure a nice future for each other.
So maybe in each one of your own words, let's say President Biden's watching right now. What would you say to him in just a few sentences each?
I'm going to start off with you, Ethan.
I don't know. Please look into some of our things that we're presenting to you. Shut down DAPL, stop Line 3, and also look into a lot of other reservations as well, because they're also suffering from the problems that we're dealing with at the moment as well. And hopefully, we can move into a better, cleaner future.
Beautiful.
I think for me, it's that we as Indigenous people are done being silenced. We're done being the underdogs. Nobody ever expects us to fight back. So just, we want you to understand that we're fighting back, and that's what's happening right now.
Oh,
I'm just asking President Biden to stand with us on this one. He made a promise that he was going to build back better, and I envision that he is going to live up to what he said when it comes to being a climate president and taking those steps to build back better.
cool.
For me, I don't know. I think I would just do the simple sentences. Just help us get rid of these pipelines and stand by us. Really, yeah.
Uh-huh. Thank you, guys. Thank you for what you're doing. I know you've come a long way, and I know it isn't easy. And you're out there all day today, fighting for your people and your water and the future generations. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to ask Silas to join us.
Do you want me to?
Who's you?
Hi, Silas.
Hi,
How are you, pal?
I am Silas Nealon. I live in Rice Lake, Minnesota, which is located on the White Earth Reservation.
It's nice to meet you, Silas. You came a long way today, didn't you? Can you tell us about Line 3 and why this is so important to you, that you'd leave school and you'd be here today, this long day hiking and protesting?
Line 3 is a replacement pipeline, but if you go look, it's a whole new pipeline. And they're going to abandon the old pipeline, which is not good. And where I live in Rice Lake, it has one of the largest wild rice lakes in the world. And that pipeline is 13 miles away. It is right by the Mississippi. And you know, pipelines leak. We can't it's threatening our wild rice and our waters. And the Mississippi is where we get some of our drinking water from. So just think about that.
And what was it like for you today? Have you been to DC before, Cyrus?
No, this is my first time.
What was it like for you there?
It was cool, you know.
Was it
Seeing
powerful
all
for
these
you?
water protectors from all over, you know,
Yeah.
fighting the same problem that we have.
And what were you hoping to accomplish today, Silas?
To get Biden's attention that he needs to stop Line 3 before it does any damage to our wild rice.
And these pipelines do damage, don't they? We see it time and time again. We hear about it in the news, how they break and burst and leak and destroy natural habitats, don't we? We don't want to see that happen. So what can President Biden do right now to protect your homelands?
What was the question again?
What do you think President Biden can do to protect your homelands?
You know, he needs to look more into, you know, wild rice. We can't grow it off seeds. It grows in the lake.
That's your food source.
So he said he needs to know, you know, to respect our 1855 treaty.
So all this is about treaty rights for all the tribes here, isn't it? I mean, haven't treaty rights been trampled on to get these pipelines through in some sense or another?
I would need a repeat. Can you repeat that?
All of these pipelines, in some way, trample on the treaties or betray the treaties that have been laid down many years ago, decades ago, don't they? For these pipelines to exist, they're breaking treaty rules and agreements.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you, Silas. Is there anything you'd like to say to President Biden if you got to sit with him for a minute?
You know, what I said, you know, for him to respect our treaties and our sacred wild rice.
Gotcha.
And he needs to stop Line 3.
Thank you,
shut down the Dakota Access pipeline.
Thank you, Silas. Yeah, President Biden has a chance right now to lead in ways that very few American leaders have led in the past. Take up the mantle that Obama had for respecting these treaties.
We're now going to pass it over to Tashina from Cheyenne River.
Can you hear me all right there?
Yeah. Hey, Tashina.
Hey.
How are you?
Mark. I'm Tashina. I like Taz. Here's some of our crew that went out today. Yeah, we're very honored to be here and talking with you tonight.
I'm so honored to be here with you guys. You guys, you know, I don't know if people know this, but you guys were so influential in stopping Keystone XL. And yeah, thank you so much. I mean, thank you on behalf of my family and the many generations that come, and for the many generations that have brought us here today. You know, this is work that's being continued from many generations. So thank you. I wanted to ask you guys, what lessons did you learn from stopping Keystone XL? I mean, you've been out in the field doing this, and you've been trying things. And what were the actions that you've learned, and the strategies that you've learned to stop these pipelines?
Can I take that one?
No, that's it.
Well, for me, I think.
All right.
I'll let my brother Oscar here. He actually locked on to Keystone XL pipeline equipment a couple months ago, and he's actually
No, Jay Slim locked down.
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. That was Jay Slim. He got trumped up charges. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
False charges against him, even when it was on the exterior boundaries of Cheyenne River Reservation. But I'll let him take that question.
Sure. So from what I learned from Nash is that the judicial system that they have going now is pretty kangarooish, and they are not upholding the law, which is the supreme law of the land. And yet we will be here to fight, to continue to fight the good fight on Chumaka for all walks of life for the generations to come.
And when you say the supreme law, we're talking about treaties, we're talking about agreements that were made between the United States and the native people of this, the first original people of this nation, right? That were written down in law, that have gone to the Supreme Court and decided that the United States hasn't followed the treaties properly. So when your rights are being trampled on there right now, you're standing in righteousness. So why did you go to DC today? What do you feel that this work to stop DAPL and Line 3, why is it so important?
It comes down to our livelihoods. It comes down to our traditions. It comes down to our medicines, our indigenous medicines that grow on the land. It comes down to our water. It comes down to everything that is sacred to the indigenous people. Especially, you know, when it comes to Dakota Access Pipeline, it's going under one of the last main sources of drinking water that we have. Back when Pick-Sloan Act happened in the 1930s, where they built hydroelectric dams, and later on in the 50s and 60s, it drew out a lot of our inland water streams and rivers and creeks, and it left our land a food desert in the plains. So the last water resource we have is the Missouri River and the Cheyenne River that we draw our water from. And if contaminated, it will poison the only drinking source of water that we have left. And we're not the only ones. There are so many other tribes downstream and upstream that will be directly affected by the Dakota Access Pipeline. And with Line 3 has been in the ground for decades now, and has already been poisoning the water rice lake beds in Anishinaabe territory, and it's already poisoning their monomen, their wild rice. It's poisoning their sugar bush trees where they draw their sap from, a lot of their medicines, just like how it's poisoning our lands. So this is why it's so important, because once we lose our medicines, once we lose our basic or the traditions that we have, we lose a part of who we are. We lose a part of our culture. We lose a part of our identity. We lose a part of preserving what we can for the future generations. We need to act now, and Biden needs to take bold action into making sure that our indigenous livelihoods and our indigenous identities can remain secure and strong and going on for the next 7 generations and beyond. And that's what it comes down to. That's why it's so important that we must stop the Dakota Access Pipeline and shut down Line 3 and all other pipelines just like it. MVP, Line 5, you name it.
just beyond, I mean, this is a really like a civil rights issue as well. I mean, you have a right to clean water. I mean, we all know that water is life. I mean, this is the battle that we've been fighting the whole time, and it always comes down to water. But then we're just talking about, if we're truly going to fight climate change, we've got to stop burning fossil fuels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's really also what's happening. You guys aren't just fighting for yourselves. You're actually fighting for the world, and you're fighting for the youth of the world and the next 7 generations in places that you can stop fossil fuels from moving across the land through our water, poisoning our communities. And you're a frontline community. You are. America has sort of treated you the worst of all of its citizens. But you guys are the ones who stopped DAPL. I mean, who stopped Keystone XL. And that just says a lot about the power that we have when we come together in a sacred way, in a good way, in a peaceful way, even if we're disrupting the systems that are destroying our lives and making and harming our people. We're doing it in a peaceful way that's stopping it. And that's what I've noticed about the work that you guys do. It's, and even in Standing Rock was the sacred, peaceful seriousness of these actions. You weren't there to destroy or harm people, because I know your opening is I wish you all the health and well-being, even to your enemies. I see you having a hard time talking badly about the people who want to hurt you. I know that's a very native quality about your hearts and Madakuya Yase, your belief that we're all related to each other. And so the way you're fighting this is the good way. It isn't harming people. It's protecting what we have, that we know that we must have to live. So I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the work you're doing. Lots of love.
We'll be looking at
Okay.
Well, we appreciate you, Mark. I mean, we've seen you. I remember seeing you up at Standing Rock, and we did, endure a lot of violent repercussions from the state of North Dakota, but that doesn't deter our ambition. That doesn't deter our commitment. It doesn't deter our passion to stopping these pipelines and making sure that our next generations have a clean, sustainable, and thriving future.
All right, we're all joining in together. This is a worldwide movement. It doesn't stop here. We're asking President Biden to do the right thing, to follow the laws that have already been laid down. These pipelines are already illegal in one way or another. So it's not like, when these companies come in and put these pipelines in without the proper vetting and with the proper going through the proper studies, they're the ones who are committing the crimes, not us, by saying, you can't be here. You're not allowed to be here. You've already broken the law by being here. Go away. This is our home. This is our water. This is our land. So we're asking President Biden to do the right thing, the president and the Biden administration to do the right thing and uphold the law. Really, we're not asking any more than to uphold the law.
On top of that, free, prior, and informed consent from Indigenous people. The Indigenous people should have first and last say to what happens to the land and water, and that's what it really comes down to. We were the first nations here, and we upheld an inherent right to protect the land and the water and all that is sacred. And we plan to keep on doing that as well.
And you guys do that, and you guys have done that, even harming your own economic well-being. It's always been about the water and the air and the earth. That has always been your priority, So
because
that's
what it comes down to. Life is way more important than that dollar. Life is way more important than that oil. It's what we're able to bring in the future that matters the most, and if we're able to preserve, a healthy environment for them, it's so much more than that. It's we're strong, and we're strong when we're together, and when it comes to protecting future generations. Sorry about that. Yeah, never mind. when it comes to protecting future generations, it's what we need to do. It's all in all of us. It's resilience.
And we would love to continue to stand for Chimaka for all the life to come. And I'm asking if you all can please sign our petition to drop our charges, our false charges. They're on 2kettlescamp.com. That is number 2, KETTLESCAMP.com. And if you could please check that out, donate, sign petition, show love. Aho, Mini Wachoni.
Aho, Mini Wachoni.
Thank you guys. That was really, really good. I really enjoyed that. So sorry, this is probably a little bit confusing for everybody because Mark is over there for us. Like we're looking at a screen with Mark right there. So if we're not looking over here when we talk, it's because we're looking at him. But I just think, we want to talk a little bit about things that, just some stuff that we've thought of. I think we'll start out with
just fast facts.
just a couple little fast facts, I guess. Maya?
Fast fact with Maya. Just kidding. Well, I would like everybody to research where your water comes from.
And I think that another really important thing is finding out, originally whose lands you're on, pre-colonization, who lived on, in or around the area that you currently reside on. Because I feel like it's really interesting, actually. Because even a lot of the tribes have moved around from different parts of the country.
I remember you had that picture with all the different tribes' names. I thought that was pretty crazy because you just never know.
Yeah, and being on this whole trip, we all got to stop in, I think it was Iowa, and learn about the Meskwaki set. So it was really interesting learning about other tribes other than our own. And it's really interesting to see so many Indigenous people coming together for one movement.
Yeah. And I think another thing that we've talked a lot about is how the movement has changed, not only recently, but from camp to now. I feel like it's kind of stayed the same in some regards. It's still really high. It's a high youth involvement, but I definitely feel like it's changed. What do you guys think?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I kind of grew up in this movement, and it really helped me learn about myself, and I really got to watch the younger generation come up to be good, strong leaders, and we're going to just continue on growing, and we're not going to be silenced.
Yeah. Silas, what about you? How have you changed since you first started fighting this at home?
Well, I'm here now, I used to be coming to many events, but now that, I've grown up, I know more about the pipeline. I'm here, telling Biden to stop Line 3 and shut down the Dakota Access pipeline.
That's awesome. And you are still so young. I feel like, I'm not that much older than you, but I feel like, how old were you when you started really getting involved in this stuff?
I was only 11 years old. I went to Duluth with a PUC meeting, watching Tara Huskos get mad at everybody there.
That's awesome. I don't know. I think, Mark, how long have you been involved in this movement?
It started for me with fracking here in New York State, probably 11 years ago. And then all over the United States, whether it's, where fossil fuels are destroying our water systems, to frontline communities where there's drilling happening. And the beautiful thing has been seeing the people who are most affected by this leading. They've always led. You guys are the ones who are coming up with the solutions that will make the world a better place. You're sounding the alarm. You're organizing. And I have to say also, just to watch you guys find your youth, find your voice and your place in the world, to know to come to Washington, D.C., and to petition the government as citizens with your rights. and to see your energy and your resilience and your minds and your bodies in motion towards the betterment of all of us has been really beautiful to watch, and to see your place in the world in a way that maybe the past couple generations of Native youth didn't really know the way you guys do, and didn't express themselves the way you do, and didn't have the tools like the internet to communicate to the world the way you do today. And so I'm grateful for your leadership, and I'm inspired by it, and I'm excited by it and what's to come.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much for those words, and thank you for your time today. We are now going to pass it on to our light projection that we have.
I hope. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Jade, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
You're upside down.
Oh no. Okay, let's figure this out. Hi everyone from Upside Down. This is not Stranger Things. Okay, we are working on that. Let me just. I used to be good at this. Hold on, I'm just gonna take this out. Can I get help?
Okay. You're good? She's good?
Is it upside down?
Yeah, you're right side up. You're good. You're good.
Oh, now I'm good, apparently. Okay, now I'm good. So how do we get back in there? Okay. Thanks, everyone, for bearing with us. Can you see me still?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Jade Begay, Climate Justice Campaign Director with NDN Collective. As you can see, there are many of us on the street right now in front of the Army Corps of Engineers. And behind us is a light projection where we are amplifying our messages to the President and to the Army Corps of Engineers to shut down DAPL. This action is a follow-up to what happened today here earlier, right there in front of this office. Hundreds of people were gathered to demand the shutdown of Dakota Access Pipeline and Line 3 pipeline in Minnesota. And here we are this evening to continue putting that pressure and demanding that this pipeline is shut down. Yesterday, the President of the United States released the American Jobs Plan, which actually stated that it would deliver clean water to all Americans. And I think it's, a really important step in completing that plan by shutting down this pipeline. So we're just following up with, what this administration is saying that they'll do. And we're applying that pressure and giving them, really providing those clear next steps for how to do that thing, like providing water to all Americans. As we can remember, the Dakota Access Pipeline threatens the water of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. It threatens the water in the Missouri River, which is water for so many Americans across the country. And here we can see some of our messages to the President and to the Army Corps of Engineers: shut down DAPL, stop Line 3, respect Indigenous sovereignty, and we need an executive order now. Right now, the fate of the pipeline is held up in the courts, and we want the President to take executive action, which is, I think, the most streamlined process to end this project. and it would be the most efficient and clear way of ending this pipeline. And this message right here, respect us or expect us, you know, that's in reference to expecting Indigenous sovereignty, respecting the demands of Indigenous voices and peoples and communities and tribes, or the president and this administration can expect us to fight and to protest and to continue to add pressure and demand, you know, what we deserve. So thank you for joining us for this light projection. If you are just joining the live stream, hello everyone. My name is Jade Begay. I am Climate Justice Director with Indian Collective. We are here gathered with many folks who were a part of the actions today to shut down DAPL and stop Line 3. We are here at the Army Corps of Engineers headquarters. We're holding a light projection tonight to continue to send a message to the Army Corps of Engineers and to the President of the United States to use executive order and presidential authority to end the Dakota Access pipeline once and for all. And I'm just going to let this play a little bit so you can all take in the messages that we're projecting here. And I apologize for the shakiness. I apologize. All right. So we're going to go talk to some of the youth and some of the folks that were here today gathering and hear from them about why they're here now, why they're here today, and just get some more perspective and voice around the meaning of this week. So just bear with me as I navigate through and find folks to speak with. All right. Do you want to say something?
I think we should say something. Are you facing it on you? You want me to grab some youth?
Everyone's all shy all of a sudden. All right. I think our imagery is shifting up now, so we'll have some new images projecting onto the building in just a moment. So as we know, COVID-19 is still very real. And so although some youth were able to make it tonight and this past few days for actions here, there's many youth who weren't able to come here. So we're going to project some images from those youth who weren't able to travel. And I think they're still getting that all set up. But yeah, we're going to go speak with some folks. So I'm going to pass it over. Hey, hi. Okay. I guess we got to talk into this little microphone. Okay. I'll hold it right here.
Perfect.
All right. So we're live. And can you tell us your name and just where you're coming from and why you're here.
Jagimawakwa Natashis, Kili Jusko Natashis, Mukumani Swan, Nemeshkoki, Nemawawis. My name is Jagimawakwa. My English name is Keely Driscoll. I'm 20 years old and I'm here as youth from the Meskwaki Nation to support these Standing Rock youth and the Cheyenne River youth here that put on this amazing peaceful protest and event to demand that Biden shut down DAPL, stop line 3, and build back fossil free. We're not here to ask him, we're here to demand that he fulfills the promises that he made to us. Our communities came out in large numbers to vote him into office, and now he needs to follow through on that. And so we're going to be hearing from some youth from Cheyenne River and Standing Rock. They have been doing actions all day, and it's a little cold out, but they're still out here. We're still trying to get this message to Biden, and so please support these youth and do the call to actions that they're asking you to do. Please uplift their message and support them in the work that they will continue to do in the future. Do you want to say something?
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Kadabi.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good. What do I say again?
Oh, we just want to hear from you and hear why you're here, and yeah, how are you in support of this movement? You know, what does this mean to you, this moment? And yeah, just whatever you feel called to share.
I'm a DAPL, Lawrence Montreal Law. I'm here representing the Dazibicho and the Mini Kuja tribes, Cheyenne River Sioux tribe. I'm here to say honor our treaties and respect our treaties. Remember the promise you made to us. That's about it.
Thank you so much. All right. So, yeah, we're just hearing from more youth. For those who are just joining, people who have come here, who live here in Washington, D.C. Again, to just give us context to where we are, we're in front of the Army Corps of Engineers headquarters. We are projecting on the building messages that are directed towards the Army Corps of Engineers and directed towards President Biden to shut down DAPL, to stop Line 3, and to respect Indigenous sovereignty. And so we've been hearing from some youth. We have one more person.
Hey Jade, can we talk about something really quick?
Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome. Something happened today that was really powerful, I think. That would be awesome to let everybody know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Maya, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Sure. So today, as we had a couple of our youth, including Silas, right? Silas, Carson, and Anna, or not Anna, Love, and had the opportunity to give the Army Corps of Engineers the petitions, and it was a really powerful moment because it was like our ancestors were there with us almost. As they handed over the petitions, it just started reading like kind of hard, but not too hard, but it was like beautiful because it's like almost on cue. And then after that, I kind of like just stopped again, and it was really powerful to feel the power of our ancestors and the support from them.
It really felt like they were like, yeah, good job, guys. So, yeah, I think we will go back to you guys at the Army Corps.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a really amazing moment today. And yeah, just to provide more context, more background, youth from Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe delivered over 400,000 messages and petitions to representatives from the Army Corps of Engineers. Right before that delivery, there was a youth run and also a rally where speakers, spoke to why they are gathering this week, why they are demanding the shutdown of both pipelines, Dakota Access and Line 3. Okay, so as promised, we have more folks here to speak. And so we're going to turn it over to some other people. I'm going to introduce this person here. So, I'm gonna hold the mic close to you, and you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name's Taylor Maribone, and I'm from Waukesha, South Dakota.
Can you tell us why you're here and what you are here to do?
I'm here because I'm standing up for our rights to have clean water and for all nations, which is stop DAPL, Line 3 and Line 5. What I really want is for all these pipelines to be stopped because we deserve clean water. We shouldn't have to struggle just to find clean water just to make it through the days. Dakota, South Dakota.
And you traveled here with the youth?
Yes.
Nice. How has it been here? And what are you hoping to have happen?
The experience here was really good. And what was the other question?
Just what do you?
Oh, I really hope these pipelines will get out of the ground and Biden will hear us and make it happen. Thank you.
All right. So we're just hearing from youth. About why they're here. We're getting resounding messages about needing access to clean water. That is for sure a part of climate justice, part of racial justice, having basic needs such as water and infrastructure like that. So these youth, they know the solutions, and we need to listen to them. Okay. All right. So we're just getting a notice that folks want to do a song, but they want to do it more in a prayerful way. So we're not going to put them on camera. I'm going to turn the camera over to the projection so folks who are just joining can get a sense of what's happening. And I think we'll be able to hear the music or the song.
hey ya, wache kia ya, wache kia ya, hey ya, wache kia ya, wache kia ya, hey ya. Mafia tiopa wechane hey amielo wakataka itachawa wapi aelo hey chawa kanetawaya wache kia yo wache kia yo wache kia yo hey wache kia yo wache kia yo hey wache kia yo wache kia yo hey Mafia tiopa wetane hey amielo wakataka itachawa wapi aelo hey chawa kanetawaya wache kia yo
Well, thanks everyone for joining us. I believe that's going to conclude our live stream of the light projection for this evening. We are so glad that you were able to join us, and we're asking again that all of our allies, our partners, join us in urging the President Biden, to use executive order to shut down Dakota Access Pipeline. You can find toolkits by following NDN Collective, by following Indigenous Rising, Honor the Earth. Each of these organizations has many resources for you to take action. So follow those organizations on social media and sign the petitions, tweet at POTUS, tweet at the White House, tweet at the Army Corps of Engineers, and urge them to shut down these pipelines. Dakota Access in particular is operating illegally. Line 3 is hoping to carry tar sands oil through sacred lands, and we need to stop these pipelines now. I will pass it back to our hosts, and thank you so much. Good evening, everybody.
Think was beautiful. So we want to talk a little bit about the fact that starting today, there's a week-long action where we just really want to put pressure on the Biden administration to stop these pipelines. So do whatever you can, call the White House, take to social media, do local actions. So we have our Linktree Frontlines to DC. There's more information, petitions to sign. So we just ask that you do whatever you can. And continue to follow along with us on this journey, because it's not over. It's not over till it's over, you know. So we just want to continue to fight, and thank you everybody for watching and tuning in.
Thank you.
Memphis?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hashtag shut down DAPL.
Stop line 3.
And build back fossil free.
Good night, everybody.
I hope you watch day.